The Big Apple by Liz Naiman. First impressions. Probably the first thing you will notice when you land in New York is the millions of yellow taxis waiting outside the airport, which we recommend you take. It's worth the $40 to $50 for the experience and to avoid the hassle of getting to the center yourself. It is possible to struggle with public transportation, but the airport is not in Manhattan, where you will most likely be staying, and a series of buses and subways will be required to get you into town. Despite my 20-something years of New York residency, I have never been on a New York City bus and intend to keep it that way. It will thrill most foreigners to know that the subway is open 24 hours a day, every single day of the year, forever, until the whole island sinks. Whether or not the sinking of Manhattan will or will not have anything to do with the subway is still undecided. Taxis are also always available. A little history. New York was once a green and lush land filled with natives, animals, and more trees than imaginable. The land was settled in 1609 by Henry Hudson for the Dutch East India Company. This settlement was known as New Amsterdam. In 1670, Britain won ownership of the land, changed the name to New York, and began settling on and farming nearby New Jersey and Long Island. After independence and Civil War, New York had its golden age. Opulent wealth, crooked business, and millions of tired, hungry immigrants flooded the country's entrance point, Ellis Island, to compete for the American dream. Anyone entering New York as a legal immigrant had to enter here, and the island is now a historical monument, a visit to which can easily be combined with a trip to the Statue of Liberty nearby. The city started in the south, on the water near Wall Street. South Street Seaport is still a great place to visit, and began to expand north as many newly rich families built mansions that can still be seen on Fifth Avenue and out on nearby Long Island. Soon, poorer New Yorkers were without cheap housing in Manhattan and had to move to the suburbs of Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and the Bronx. Dense populations of single nationalities formed. There were Irish neighborhoods, Italian neighborhoods, Russian neighborhoods, places in which English was rarely spoken and which acted as insulated havens for un-Americanized immigrants. By 1930, New York's population was pushing 7 million, whereas in 1850 it had just over 500,000 people. New York today. Once known as a den of sin and iniquity, in recent years most of the unsavory aspects of New York City have been eliminated, or at least hidden from view. Times Square was once the pinnacle of prostitution and deprivation, but it is now a colorful commercial paradise that is an absolute must-see for any tourist, especially at night. Nearby is the Theater District, Broadway. This is known as Midtown. Between Midtown and the Financial District are the artsy neighborhoods, Soho, Tribeca, Chelsea, and the Lower West and East Sides. This area attracts all sorts of bohemian types and is usually a safe bet for cheap concerts, bars, and late-night partying. As you work your way up from Wall Street, make sure to check out 8th Street, which continues east of Broadway as a little street called St. Mark's, a known hangout for various subcultures, note the different styles of dress, and home to a lot of good restaurants, especially Klong, Thai food, and next door Fuego, Cuban food. Union Square in the 14th Street area is also fun to walk in, or you can run, bike, or rollerblade up and down the lower west side of Manhattan along the water. Fans of different cultures might be excited by a trip to Queens, Flushing Main Street. There are so many different nationalities, it's like jumping in minutes from America to Pakistan, Korea, etc. Another fun excursion on Long Island is a summertime trip to Jones Beach. Of course, anytime you visit, you must see Central Park to marvel at the contrast between nature and cityscape. The Metropolitan Museum. Tip: the entrance fee is suggested, not mandatory. And the Natural History Museum. The neighborhoods around the museums and Central Park are very rich and exclusive with beautiful old architecture. There is a haven of good inexpensive food running along 1st Avenue from about 81st Street to 89th. If you get tired of the inner city, take a trip north of Central Park. You will enter Harlem and other far less touristy areas. Here you can live the life of a real New Yorker. So go there, go into a bar or cafe and say to the barman, "Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?" He'll think you're a true New Yorker. Guaranteed.